My was all full silence, but I'm hearing. Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Good afternoon, viewers. You're watching us live on Kairaba News Network. We are located at Brunswick Turntable. My name is Alkali Cham. I am flanked by a colleague who will introduce herself to you rather. You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Mama Eture.
Okay, Mama, could you tell us what is your role at Kairaba News Network?
Well, I am a reporter and also sometimes do operate cameras.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mama. What we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the items, news items that we've broadcasted on our platform, and you are one of the reporters that have been, deployed to various events, especially when the IEC was conducting nominations for various parliamentary aspirants. And could you tell us some of these activities? Where were you assigned to cover?
Well, I was assigned at the Birkama IEC regional headquarters, and then so it was at Birkama IEC headquarters.
Okay, so you have interacted with most of these parliamentary aspirants. Could you tell us some of the aspirants that you have directly spoken to at the time of nomination?
Well, I can say some of the, most of the people, the aspirants who came there, that I was able to, that I witnessed, I think I have even once or twice have an interview with those people. Amongst them, you have the other one that is Bogar FM calling. I could say I even reported that story as well.
So you have directly interacted with these aspirants. What do they say is, or are some of their agenda that they want to promote to the electorate, especially Mr. Colley, who used to be a barrister, now turned a politician?
Actually, what Mr. Colley told me was that he came into politics just to salvage his people, because according to him, his people are like they are sort of marginalized. So therefore, he resigned from the Drug Law Enforcement Agency to come into politics as an independent candidate under his constituency in order for him to salvage his people.
So I edited your story, and I was able to trace that Mr. Colley said Congo South is rich with natural resources, and when he comes into power, or when he's voted to the National Assembly, he is going to mobilize at least resources, or utilize these resources to benefit the members of his constituents. Could you please add your voice to this?
Well, according to him, that is his claim. He said that, and that is not from my voice. I could remember, I quoted that part. That he said that a Combo South constituency is rich in those minerals, and those minerals are what the youth in Combo South constituency are using to employ themselves, among other things, and that if he is to be voted into office, he is going to work hand in glove with those people and make sure that those minerals are put in place as according to him, and also the environmental laws as well. He said that the environmental laws are not implemented in a clear advice, and that also I could remember quoting him directly saying that the environmental laws are not implemented, and that if he is to be in office, he is definitely going to implement those rules.
He also emphasized on the draft constitution that was expunged by the members of the National Assembly, the current members of the National Assembly. Some would say due to partisan, interest. He promised his members of his constituents that when he's voted in, he is going to collaborate with the rest of the members to revert that draft constitution. Could you please explain more about this?
Well, according to Bokar FM Koli, when asked about a draft constitution, Yeah, he said he made mention that the young people that he's seen vying for the position of being an MP in the office, if he is also lucky to be amongst the people who are going to be at the National Assembly come 9th April 2022, he's going to work hand in glove with those people and make sure that the draft constitution is there, because according to him, the draft constitution, those who are there, they were using their selfish interest instead of the interest of the public. So therefore, if he is to go there, he will set aside those who don't want to vote for the draft constitution and try to convince his fellow young MPs and try to make sure the draft constitution is implemented.
Okay, specifically you looked at the story of Mr. Colley, because you scripted that story. And Mr. Colley is in Combo South, and Combo South seems to be UDP dominating administrative area. From what you have observed so far, could you say, what would be your personal opinion to say whether there is a possibility for him winning in that area?
Well, I could see seeing Bokar FM Colley as a young person, and also seeing it necessary to even leave what he is doing and then coming back to the society which he belongs, and then he feels necessary that how things are going doesn't work, so therefore he should come up. And then seeing, though I haven't covered his campaign, but then seeing his campaign as well, it seems he seems to be a winning candidate. Though we know that UDP has dominated the place, but we've also seen the UDP being dominating the place for the constituency, even though with the presidential elections as well, we could see the fact that the UDP, the UDP was unable to win those places. So therefore, I am convinced as a young person, because I believe in him, because seeing your fellow young person coming out to show his interest of taking your constituency to another level, where the old people who are there were unable to do. So one thing I am sure of is that if FM Colley is voted into office, it's not like I'm doing a campaign for him, but then I believe that if he is voted into office, what he is campaigning for, that his people are marginalized, the environmental laws, amongst other things, I believe that his constituency people, they need all those things, but they are not, it is not provided. So therefore, if he is in office, I believe that he is going to do those things.
Coming to, in the same vein, you've also covered the nomination bid for Mahmoud Sabali, whom we've seen subsequently was rejected by the members of the Independent Electoral Commission. And we've also observed that there was a child, chance was created, after the rejection of Mr. Sabali. Could you tell us some of the reasons that led to the rejection of this gentleman?
Well, for me, I can say, according to the Jana Commission, that was revealed to the public, that Mamadou Sabali, Noah Toure, amongst other people, are not supposed to hold public office. But then, if those people are out there holding public office, and Mamadou Sabali being rejected at the spot, that is why Mamadou Sabali, I could say, actually, I cannot say that he is qualified and he is doing this and that, but then we've also seen that if those other people, because it is in front of us with the Gambians, we've seen it. If we've seen it already, if Mamadou Sabali has been rejected at the spot, what I'm failed to understand here is that Mr. Seka, the returning officer at the Birkama Independent Electoral Commission, what I suggest he should have done was what he did to other candidates. Because since the day I started to cover, though I haven't covered all the days, but the days that I have covered, we've had Mr. Seka, the editorial officer for Birkama Independent Electoral Commission, telling the aspiring candidates that they are the public scrutiny, and immediately out of that public scrutiny, they will be called to know if they are qualified or not. Now the question is, why was Mamadou Sabali rejected at that spot? Why didn't Mr. Seka try at least and tell Mamadou Sabali very well that, because he knew that there are candidates coming after Mamadou Sabali. So why should he tell Mamadou Sabali at the spot that you are disqualified according to this and this and that, instead of telling Mamadou Sabali to go under the same procedures as other people do? So I think the Independent Electoral Commission did a big mistake on that, because they should have at least told Mamadou Sabali to go, and then we will call to know whether he is qualified or not, instead of telling him at that spot that you are not qualified.
Okay, thank you so very much. Away from that, you've also covered this year's GCCI International Trade Fair. Week is currently ongoing on their grounds somewhere in Brussels. This time around, we've seen different people from all across Africa, converge on the ground to promote their business. So you've interacted with some of the officials of GCCI, and what do they say is the main reason for organizing such an international trade fair?
Well, according to Ms. Jara, the GCCI this time around, they organized this trade fair here at Brussels behind GNPC petrol station, because the place at the Independence Stadium isn't enough for them. So because the demand for the stall is high, so in order for them to meet the requirement for the people asking for the stall, they have to do this, that is to come to their own territory in Brussels here. And according to her, they are doing this to promote young people and also other people who are interested in trade.
Okay. I think what she has also mentioned in that story is they have this time almost about 500 stalls, and we could not have been provided at the national, the Independence Stadium, and that's the reason why they moved to their own ground that belongs to them.
Sure.
So what are some of the products that, or what were some of the expectations that was raised by the people that you interacted with, considering this year's trade fair?
Well, actually, we went there at the RSC, that is the beginning of the trade fair. And when we went there, we found that the trade fair is about to commence. So what they told us was that they are expecting more sales, that the people will come out because their materials. So they were really expecting to make sales in the trade fair.
Okay. Away from the trade fairs, we talk about the Majak Week. We've all known that there is an institution in this country that trains budding journalists to become qualified and very professional journalists that are expected to execute their functions in the best way they could. You are one of the students that who took part in that event. Could you take us an insight of what really transpired that day?
Well, the Media Academy of Journalism and Communication, Majak. Majak is a non-profit limited liability company that was established by the Ghana Press Union. Okay, then Majak is in Bakau, Newtown. Then Majak, since the inception, all what the students know is assignment upon assignment, classwork upon classwork, going to school. But since the inception, there was no initiative like organizing this particular day for the students to be able to have this interaction, display their talents of what they are learning. The only thing that Majak students do is whatever they learn in school, they go and display it at their media houses, but no extracurricular activities in their school. So this time around, the student union deemed it necessary to organize a 3-day program that will help the students come out and display their talents. And I could say some of the activities that they do was they do news presentation, and then debate, poetry, singing, and of course Face of Majak, that is beauty pageant. And among the activities, I took part in the debate competition, and then also that was on the first day. You have the debate, you have the you have the debate on the first day, you have the singing, and also of course you get the poetry aspect of it. So those were some of the activities that they conducted for the first day. The second day was the sport day that was done at the Independence Stadium. On the third day, they went to Abidjan Theatre for the Face of Mayak, the drama, and the final for the debate competition, and of course the poetry, singing, amongst other things that we've done this thing. And then we could also see in the commemoration of the Majak Week, we could see that there are banners displayed in memory of our late journalist who passed away, the late Daida Haidara, the late Sisi Sawane, the late Chief Ibrahim Mane, and then Pamudu Fall as well. We could see that things were done in memory of them. We displayed banners, 4 banners in memory of our journalists. Though those are not the only journalists who passed away, but we've taken those people out there to display their banners on that particular event.
Okay. And another very important personality in media. You cannot talk about Gambian media, especially the online media, without talking about people like Fatu Kamara, who appeared as a guest speaker for the event. She has highlighted some of the important, characteristics that should be displayed by journalists. Could you take us some of these things that she has mentioned?
Well, for Fatu Kamara, the CEO and founder of the Fatu Network, invited as the guest speaker at the Saint Majak event that was commemorated at the school. According to Fatu Kamara, though the likes, the clicks, that 1,000 clicks, amongst other things, are important, but what is important as a journalist is your credibility. And she also made mention of you sharing your story within your colleagues is important than sharing your story out. It will be broadcast. If it is broadcast, then you will see at the end of the day you will see screenshots there. So he called on unity amongst within our colleagues to make sure that whatever we are to say, we share it within ourselves first before it will be broadcast. So amongst other things, for her to explain her journey in the media, and then all young people out there who look, because if you see today in the journalism field, if you ask any young aspiring journalists, their mentors, the people whom they look up to, the people who motivated them to come into this field, a majority of people will tell you that Fatu Kamara is my mentor. So Fatu Kamara giving us this, telling us the young people to work within ourselves, to know before taking your story out, let the story be within you people, within your colleagues. You should know where the errors are, and your credibility also matters a lot. She emphasized credibility, and I know most of the journalists out there will obviously check that point.
Thank you so very much, viewers. Like we said, you are watching on live on Kairaba News Network. We are located at Dosibi, just opposite Affirmate Hospital. We can be followed on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms. So she is my colleague, Mama M. A. Toure. So Mama, we are a newly formed media.
Yeah.
And we are also, trying to do our best to contribute to the national development. Could you please tell us a little, what we do within Kairaba News Network?
Well, Kairaba News Network is a platform that I will advise other young people like myself to come there, because as for me, I was interested in writing. So I'll be writing because I've been writing at least for 1 year for a newspaper. But at the end of the day, when I see this opportunity, I was like, no, this opportunity must be grabbed. So I grabbed the opportunity and I came to Kairaba News Network. And in Kairaba News Network today, I'm able to face you people. You see me live, and I'm speaking to you people. So, and I'm also being able to operate a camera, which I was never taught in class. So I could say Kairaba News Network as well It's not a platform that follows this coverage. As Fat Kamara said in her statement that we should not only be following the stories, the coverages, because coverage is not the news according to her. According to her, the news, you should go and look at something that people are not looking at. So Kairaba News Network, I could say, it's not like I'm doing a PR for them, but Kairaba News Network is an institution that goes out for something that other media houses aren't hunting. Because Kairaba News Network, if you are to go through the Facebook and our YouTube channel, you will see that the stories that are on Kairaba News Network are more of a human interest story. So I can say we dedicate our life to human interest stories.
Thank you so very much. That was my colleague, Mama A. Ture. Will be our subsequent programs will be soon observed by you, the viewers out there. Inshallah, this was just a chat between ourselves to talk about to review some of the news items that we've broadcasted on our platform. So thank you so very much. Until we come your way again next time. I was your host, Al Karicham.